All right, I'm just going to kind of go through a couple quick problems here. If you're feeling comfortable and you don't think you need this, then that's fine. Feel free to skip it, but I just didn't want you guys to be too lost, okay? So if we start here, we notice that this is an X, so we know it's going to either be opening left or right. If we notice this is positive, so it's going to be opening towards the positive X scale. So if we look at this, that's 4P equals 20, so that means P is 5, okay? If we also notice, if we pull our vertex, so remember, our vertex has to be the opposite. Well, actually, sorry, this is your H, and this is your K. So the H is the same, so that's -2, and then your K is the opposite one. So just remember, every time it comes out of that parentheses. So if we do -2, -3, that's our vertex. And again, because this is positive, we know it's opening around the positive X scale, so then it has to be going this way. Then that means our focus is 5 units this way. So if you think about going 5 units this way, that would be your focus. So if we're at -2 and essentially we add 5, then that puts us at 3, and then we didn't change the up or down. Now remember, your directrix is the same distance, so 5 units this way. So then this would be your directrix. So again, it's vertical. And then think about, if I'm at -2, and essentially I go 5 this way, so if I subtract 5, I'd be at -7. Then my axis of symmetry is the one that's going right down the middle. So if you look, my axis of symmetry is horizontal, and then it's going right through the y coordinate of the vertex. So this would be your -3, okay? All right, again, I'm gonna kind of try to go fast, so if you need to pause or anything like that, don't, or feel like if you need to pause, you can. Okay, so if you want me to write the equation, the first thing I notice is this is opening to the right. So if it's opening to the right, it's opening around the x-axis, so it has to be x equals. Then I do 1/4. Now, I need to know the distance between that. Now, just be careful. I don't love how this graph is by 2's, but if you notice, the graph is 2, 4, 6, 8. So this is by 2's right here, which means my distance or my P value is a 4 because it's 2 boxes. So then that's really 4 times 4. Now, my vertex is also not at the origin anymore. So if I look at my vertex is 6, 2. So because I started with X, I switched letters. Then my K comes next, and my Y value comes next, and it's always the opposite, and then it's my H. So again, if you want to, you can kind of look back and you can see right there how they're like switched because you're also switching the X and Y's. So if you want to, you can quick clean this up. That'd be 1/16. Now remember, you do not have to FOIL this out because this is technically what we call vertex form. So you don't FOIL it. Okay, so if I go quick here, my vertex, -4, 2. Here's my vertex. My focus is -6, 2. So here's my focus, which means, again, my parabola has to open around my focus. So I know it's going to be X because it's opening on the -X scale. And then again, what's my distance between them? So if you think about from -4 to -6, my distance, my P value is like -2. So then that would be like 1/4 times -2. Then I use my other letter. So if I already use X, now I use Y. Then now I got to switch this. So this is kind of like my Y coordinate or my K, and then I do my H or my X. And then if you want to clean that up, you can. And again, a lot of times I always see it that they put the negative on the side, but if you put the negative with the 8, that's totally fine. And then that would be your final answer, okay? So again, these are slightly different from each other, but still similar. So let me just quick go through them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, -1. Here's my vertex. Now this is my directrix. So my directrix is up here at 5. So that's that line, which means my parabola has to be opening away from my directrix. So my parabola is like that. So then if this is -1 and this is 5, then that's really a distance of 6. So then my P value is 6, but notice I'm going down. So notice then I really want to think of this as a -6. Again, distance is positive, but you want to kind of think about which way you're going. So I'm opening down, so I'm going to start with the Y. and then it's 1 over 4 times negative 6, and then I'm going to switch letters, and then my vertex. Now notice, because I'm using x, I want to use my h. So this would be a minus 4, and then you just keep your k the same. So again, if you wanted to rewrite this, you would pull the negative potentially out front like that, and then you would do x minus 4 squared minus 1. So again, the picture does not have to be perfect. Like if you don't want to count out 6 little tick marks, you don't have to. But sometimes it's kind of helpful to like get a good visual. So now my directrix is at x equals 2. So if this is my directrix, remember my parabola has to be opening away from it. So I can already tell that's opening on the x-axis, so this has to be x equals. Now again, I need to know the distance. Well, this is negative 6, and this is 2 more. So this is really a distance of 8. So if I go this way for my focus, I'd have to like do a negative 8. So that's why over here you're going to do a negative 8, because you're opening to the left. So then now I'm going to use y, and in all honesty, I don't really need to know where that point is. I don't need to know that. I just need to know it's to the left. So now I'm going to do y, and then I'm going to do a minus a negative 3, so see how it switches, and then I have the minus 6. And then again, if you want to just quick clean this up, that's negative 32, and then we don't have to FOIL this. We just leave it. Okay? So that should be it for day 2. So hopefully that helps a little bit, and then you can work on your worksheet.